Hello, and welcome to Grandkids and Grands YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Orton, and as grandparents, we love spending time with our grandchildren. They just give us so much joy. But sometimes in our planning, in our head, what we're going to do with them, we can be a little overzealous in what we want to do with them. And sometimes it causes a disruption or a discomfort with the grandchildren's parents. Jessica Miller has a YouTube channel, Mind Your Boundaries. I'll leave the link to it below. It's really great. And she posted this scenario a little while ago, and it really caught my attention because it really speaks to exactly what I'm talking about. So have a look at it. I'm going to leave my comments after, and I'd love to have your comments because I think it's something that we can learn from and be better grandparents as a result. Have a look.
So apparently, this past Christmas, her mother-in-law gave each one of their daughters a specific dollar amount, and she just directly deposited this into their bank account. Come Christmas morning, the girls get to see this big amount in their account. They're really excited, and then her mother-in-law, did the caveats. Well, now you don't get to just spend it. I will decide how you spend it and when. Fast forward, come to find out, her mother-in-law is deciding to take the girls out of town overnight, something that was not discussed with the parents first, something that they are not comfortable with. Now, she hasn't told them the plans at all yet, like when this is going to happen or how long she plans to stay, nothing like that. But they're wondering, how can we handle this kindly and what is a possible script? So if this were happening to me, I would be proactive about it. I wouldn't wait for her to come to me and tell me the plans. I would send my husband over ASAP. So I'd send him over, and something he could say is, "Thank you again, Mom, for your just generous gift. The girls can't wait to spend quality time with you. Little heads up, we're not comfortable with them going out of town or doing an overnight, whether that's local or away from us. So as you're planning, just know that you have the whole day with them, just not overnight or out of town. Again, thank you so much for being so generous. You are just amazing. They can't wait to spend time with you." And that's it. So what I'm doing in that script is I'm making sure she feels appreciated, valued, but I'm also being very clear on our boundaries. That's just how I would approach it, again, proactively.
Okay, there were a few things that caught my attention. One, I think the first one, was the granddaughter or the daughter-in-law has reached out for support. She's uncomfortable with the grandmother putting money in the bank account and then making plans to take the kids out of town or stay overnight. And instead of having that knee-jerk reaction, would actually be kind of normal if she did, was pick up the phone and say, "I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't like it. What were you thinking?" She reached out to Jessica for some advice, and kudos to her, because she obviously would like to maintain that relationship she has with her mother-in-law and keep things on an even keel. So kudos to her for doing that. The other thing that caught my attention was and this wasn't brought out in Jessica's answer, but the grandmother put money into the grandchildren's bank accounts. Now, obviously, there's a trust level there that she even had the information to make the deposit. But why is the grandmother doing that without the knowledge of the grandchildren's parents? They are responsible for the finances of their daughters. There has to be some respect there, and at least tell them that that's what she's doing, and so she can get the feedback if it's okay, is it enough, like what the amount is. Just that conversation, I think, should have taken place, and I'm a little surprised that the grandmother would think, "Yeah, I can do this. I've got the information. I'm just going to put it in." The other thing was making the plans overnight, and I think this is a really common mistake we make as grandparents. We have a great relationship with our grandchildren's parents, but we think, well, of course they're going to be okay with us taking them out of town. Okay, of course it's going to be okay to have them overnight. And that's why I'm saying we kind of get overzealous in our enthusiasm to spend time with them. We really need to acknowledge that the responsibility of the daughters is with their parents. They have to know what their children are doing and when they're doing it and who with. Now, obviously, they're very comfortable with the children being with grandma, but the grandmother needs, and we all have to do this, make sure that we talk to the parents first. They know what the children are into. They know what any boundaries that they have that need to be put in place to keep them safe or to nurture their development. And all it takes is a conversation. And which leads me to my last point. All of this took place on Christmas morning. It's a time of a lot of joy and enthusiasm, and the granddaughters were excited. They knew they had some money in the bank, and they knew they were going to spend the time with grandma. So what a great time for everybody, except the parents that are sitting there going, what happened? I didn't know about this. How come I wasn't told? And do I say something now or do I wait? And it would have been hanging over them all day. Now, as I say, they've got a great relationship with the grandmother, so, everything can probably be smoothed over easily. But I loved Jessica's response. I loved the approach of just being calm. Send the son over to have a conversation with his mom. Very loving. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to spend with the grandchildren. They're going to be looking forward to it. Here's some boundaries we need to put into place. And they were so simple to work with. I love the response. And I truly, truly hope that the grandmother took the suggestions in the spirit in which they were offered. I think there's some learning here for us, and that's my comments. Please, in the comments below, leave yours. I'd love to hear your perspective. And then share this with other grandparents. Let's get their perspective as well and get a conversation going in our community. So anyway, subscribe, of course, share as I mentioned, and have a grand day.